It was a Saturday morning when Sarah decided to end our marriage for an audience of strangers on the internet. I was making coffee in our kitchen, still in pajamas, when she walked in fully dressed, phone already recording, her voice artificially loud and theatrical. "I can't do this anymore, Michael," she announced, pointing the camera at both of us. "I'm tired of being married to someone who doesn't appreciate me." I looked up from the coffee maker, confused. We hadn't been fighting. We'd watched a movie together the night before, shared popcorn, laughed at the same jokes. This performance was coming from nowhere. "Sarah, what are you doing?" "I'm being real for once," she said, still filming. "I'm showing people what it's like to live with a man who takes his wife for granted." The accusations came fast and scripted. I was controlling, I never listened, I didn't support her dreams. Each complaint was delivered with the exaggerated emotion of someone auditioning for a soap opera. But here's what made it obvious this was staged. Sarah kept glancing at her phone screen, checking the angle, making sure she was in frame. This wasn't an argument, it was content creation. "Are you seriously filming this? The world deserves to know the truth about our marriage." I set down my coffee mug and really looked at my wife. The woman I'd been married to for 7 years was performing our divorce for social media engagement. She'd put on makeup to have a breakdown. She'd chosen her outfit for maximum sympathy. And I realized, with a clarity that felt like cold water, that I was looking at a stranger who'd been wearing my wife's face. "Okay," I said quietly. That stopped her mid-sentence. She'd been building to some dramatic crescendo, probably planning to storm out with the camera rolling. My calm acceptance wasn't part of her script. "Okay, what?" "I'm being real for once," she said, still filming. "I'm showing people what it's like to live with a man who takes his wife for granted." The video went viral in our small-town social media circles. Friends started reaching out, asking if I was okay, expressing shock that Sarah had aired our private life so publicly. Some believed her performance, others saw it for what it was. But I started noticing things I'd missed before. Sarah's phone was always in her hand now, constantly buzzing with notifications, likes, comments from strangers validating her victimhood narrative. She moved out 3 days after the video, claiming she needed space to heal. But instead of going to her sister's place like she had told everyone, she moved in with Marcus Chin, a guy she'd met at the gym 6 months earlier. I found out through Instagram, of course. Sarah posted a story showing her feet next to a man's feet, both pairs wearing matching house slippers. The location tag said Marcus's address. 6 months. That's how long she'd been planning this exit strategy. The video hadn't been the beginning of our problems. It had been her public justification for an affair she was already having. I did what any reasonable person would do. I called a lawyer and started documenting everything. Screenshots of her social media posts, bank records showing unexplained expenses, phone records I was legally entitled to as her husband. The pattern was clear. Sarah had been building a case against our marriage online while building a relationship with Marcus offline. Every post had been laying groundwork, painting me as neglectful, unsupportive, emotionally distant. She'd crowdsourced approval for abandoning our marriage. But social media works both ways, and Sarah had forgotten that other people have phones too. Marcus Chen was married. That little detail somehow hadn't made it into Sarah's inspirational posts about finding true love and authentic connections. His wife Jennifer reached out to me 2 weeks after Sarah's dramatic video. She'd seen the posts, recognized her husband's apartment, and put the pieces together faster than Sarah had expected anyone to. "Your wife has been posting about their relationship for months," Jennifer told me over coffee. "Pictures of dates, romantic dinners, weekend getaways. She's been tagging locations, posting couple photos with his face cropped out. I thought I was going crazy." Jennifer showed me screenshots Sarah had since deleted. Photos from restaurants Marcus had told his wife were business dinners. Hotel lobbies from weekends he had claimed to be at conferences. Sarah hadn't just been cheating on me. She'd been documenting the affair for social media, then editing Marcus out of the photos before posting them as her journey of self-discovery. "She's been using your marriage as cover," Jennifer said, "making it seem like she's the victim who deserves happiness, while Marcus gets to play the supportive friend helping her through a difficult time." The irony was perfect. Sarah had staged our fight to justify leaving me for Marcus, not knowing that Marcus was staging his own deceptions to keep his marriage intact. Neither of them realized they were both being played by someone better at manipulation than either one of them. "What do you want to do about this?" I asked Jennifer. She smiled grimly. "I want to give your wife exactly what she's been asking for: public truth." Jennifer had kept screenshots of everything. Sarah's deleted posts showing expensive dates Marcus had paid for, location tags that proved their affair timeline, photos Sarah had posted from Marcus's apartment thinking she was being clever by cropping him out. But the smoking gun was a video Sarah had posted to her close friend story, a feature she'd forgotten Jennifer had access to through a mutual friend. In it, Sarah was in Marcus's kitchen, wearing one of his shirts, talking about how some people are worth waiting for, while Marcus's wedding photos were clearly visible on the refrigerator behind her. Jennifer compiled everything into one post. No angry accusations, no emotional outbursts, just facts, screenshots, and timestamps that told the story Sarah had been trying to hide. The caption was simple: "While my husband was supposedly supporting his friend through her difficult divorce, they were actually planning their future together in my kitchen." Swipe for the full timeline of their relationship told through her own social media posts. The post exploded. Sarah's narrative of being the wronged wife seeking authentic love crumbled when people realized she'd been the other woman all along. Comments flooded in from people who'd supported her original breakup video. The tone shifted from sympathy to disgust as followers realized they'd been manipulated into cheering for an affair. Sarah started deleting her posts frantically, but the internet is forever. Screenshots circulated faster than she could scrub her accounts. Her inspirational quotes about finding true love became evidence of adultery. Her posts about toxic relationships became proof of her own toxicity. Within hours, Sarah had locked her accounts and disappeared from social media entirely. But the damage was done. Our small-town social media ecosystem had turned against her completely. Marcus tried to control the fallout by claiming Sarah had seduced him, but Jennifer had screenshots of his messages proving he had been the one pursuing her. Both their marriages were over, but now everyone knew why. Sarah tried to contact me a week after Jennifer's post went viral. She wanted to meet, to explain, to somehow salvage her reputation and our marriage simultaneously. I met her at a coffee shop downtown, the same place she'd posted dozens of photos talking about her journey of self-discovery. "She didn't supposed to happen this way," she said, looking smaller than I'd seen her in years. "How was it supposed to happen? She thought you'd fight for me, get angry, give me drama I could use to justify leaving." There it was. She needed me to be the villain in her story, and my calm acceptance had ruined her narrative. "You staged our fight because you needed content to justify an affair you were already having." She nodded miserably. "Marcus said if I could make it look like our marriage was toxic, it would be easier for both of us to leave our spouses." "And now?" "Now Marcus won't return my calls. His wife filed for divorce and took everything. He's broke and blames me for ruining his life." The poetic justice was almost too perfect. Sarah had traded our stable marriage for a man who'd encouraged her to destroy it publicly, then abandoned her when the plan backfired. "I made a mistake," she whispered. "You made a choice. Multiple choices, actually, documented on social media." 6 months later, our divorce was finalized quietly. No social media announcements, no dramatic revelations, just paperwork and the division of a life that had been real before it became content. Sarah moved to another state, presumably to start over somewhere her viral infamy couldn't follow her. Marcus lost his job when his company saw Jennifer's posts. Apparently, using company time to plan affairs wasn't good for their family values image. I kept our house, our dog, and most importantly, my privacy. I learned that the most powerful response to someone staging drama for attention is not to give them the reaction they want. Sometimes the most devastating thing you can do to someone seeking conflict is to remain calm. Sarah had wanted to perform our marriage's end for an audience. Instead, she'd performed her own character assassination. The audience was watching all right. They just weren't cheering for the person she'd expected. Social media had promised her validation for her choices. In the end, it delivered exactly that, just not the validation she'd been hoping for. The internet never forgets, and neither do small towns.